Recap the weekend. The one that stood out to me is kind of the bounce back from Friday to Sunday. What did you like about kind of that response from your team after a tough one?
Yeah, Friday was obviously really hard. It's our second time playing a top 10 team in the country. And instead of kind of rallying the way that we'd wanted to, I think we gave in to fear that game and we just kind of folded. Athletically, I thought we did a good job of not slowing down with them, but ultimately we weren't able to be successful on any part of the field on that day, and that's really frustrating, especially because Grand Valley was able to play them so much tighter. And if we're really trying to creep closer to Grand Valley, we need to have a better showing than 18, 18 to 3 and no goals in the second half. Like that's frankly it's a little embarrassing. So I hope that moving forward we can have a better performance against top teams in the country, and I do think a huge part of that is our youth. But I'm hoping that we can continue to rebound from it. But yeah, it was nice to play Saginaw on Sunday, get that immediate bounce back. They are like, this is their first year. We played, so in lacrosse, you normally play 12v12. We played 10v10, so 9 field players and a goalie, and they are very new. Their second best player is a volleyball player that's never played the sport before. So just a really different experience to going from playing a top 10 team in the country to a team that's like truly new. But it's fun for me, fun for our team. We've never been to Saginaw before. Their facilities are great. I think they've got a lot of potential to have a great program there. It's just, I mean, I didn't start the program here, but based on the record and film from back then, I know we were in that same situation about 9 years ago. So really happy to have them. But great to get our first true road win, because we hadn't had a real road win before. It was our last road win was a neutral site game, so good to get that under our belt. But ultimately, like, I do think we have a long way to go this season if we're going to keep being fearful in big games, because we haven't had a close game yet this year. We've either blown people out or gotten blown out. So
When you make that kind of switch, you go from playing a top 10 team in the country to playing a team that has just started the program. What's the message to the team to keep the intensity up when sometimes when you're playing an opponent that's not as experienced?
yeah, yeah. So we had like a pretty significant gathering on Saturday with our defense and our offense separately to kind of talk about what we need to do to move forward to be successful and start getting over humps that we've talked about. Because I do think my teams consistently have been really good idea people, but maybe not great doers. We don't follow through with the goals that we set as often. So that was kind of the point of getting together. Offense and defense was like, hey, we keep creating all of these solutions, but we're not actually doing them. Like, what can we do on Sunday that actually follows through on some of these great points that we've been making after game after game after game? And I do think Sunday we were able to do that, because you're absolutely right. It's super hard to keep intensity against a new team where athletically it can get really chaotic. And I think that we did a really good job of maintaining composure in that and handling just handling people that don't know how to play the sport. It's not their fault. They don't know when they're supposed to stop running. They don't know when they're supposed to stop swinging their stick. So like us being able to maintain composure through that was huge. And I think that easily game could have been a shutout for us, but we did have one like pretty bad defensive mistake. I mean, it's hard to be picky when the score is literally 20-1, but it was a really bad defensive mistake. So that was an easy thing to talk about after that. And I'm really hopeful that we can rebound as we head into now. We've had a conference game. We're going to have our whole conference games, and then we play them all again, because our conference is so small. We play everyone so many times that we can make these adjustments that we keep talking about, but just haven't actually done yet.
Speaking of that, getting into the conference season, starting 1-0, does that kind of tell the team, hey, it's go time now? We're playing against our conference. We've got Davenport and GVSU coming. It's go time.
I do think it makes it feel more real, especially because we played UND at Grand Valley, and being back in that visiting locker room there that we were in last spring, ended our season there last 6 years, that it feels more real when you're there and you're seeing your conference. And now as we're watching scout film, it's our conference, even though they've been playing teams that we've played, so we've seen them a lot. But yes, this feels more real. It's all those athletes that, because we play them a million times, I know every single thing about every single one of them, and our players do because they play them so many times. So yeah, it feels more real now because they know every single one of them by name and exactly how they play. At least our senior class does, because they've seen them so many times. So it's a new season, conference play, so that might be good for us.
Yeah. And then let's kind of talk about this weekend, the two teams coming in. What do you have to do Friday to be prepared for Sunday?
Yeah, so these two teams couldn't be more different, which is not super convenient. So Davenport, I really like Davenport's coach. I think she does a really good job, and they play really different than Grand Valley. Their two best players are both 5 foot or under. So going from guarding these like killer little attackers, but that are so small, you have to, and we have two 6 foot defenders, like to really put yourself in body positioning to not just constantly foul, because you're literally going to foul them if you don't actually take the time to be low enough. Going from that to then playing like Grand Valley's probably average height is 5'9", so that swing is really significant and it makes it really difficult to prepare for both. Obviously, you don't want to overlook Davenport, so we're going to spend today on Grand Valley, and then Wednesday, Thursday on Davenport, and that way we can spend Saturday on Grand Valley again. But going from guarding like really quick, small attackers to these like big, long, fluid people is very difficult. And then they also both play completely different defenses. Davenport plays a backer zone, so you have to pass more through their defense, which is something that we struggle with. And then Grand Valley plays a man defense more similar to us, which I would say we can score on, but Indy played that and we certainly couldn't. So I think we got a lot of different prep to do this week, and unfortunately it's going to be very different for both teams.
Making that transition, what are the main things that you concentrate on, the things that you look for, stuff like that?
Yeah, well, we had a little recovery time after indoor, and now, getting ready, gearing up for outdoor. So the first couple meets be a good chance to kind of see where we're at, see where we're at from the indoor to the outdoor. But the athletes are all, they've been working hard and preparing for. Of course, we're not on an outdoor track at all yet, but have some good training, and it'll be a good chance to get on an outdoor track, kind of see where we're at. Some different events, a few of them change and add some different events, but the group is looking really, really good.
Redbird Challenge coming up.
Yep.
What are you kind of first outdoor chance? What are you looking forward for your team for that? Just kind of the first feel of the outdoor season.
Yeah, just a test to see where we're at in the different events, and nice to get on a 400-meter track, and the little bit warmer weather. Should be warmer down there, raining but warmer. So good chance to run outside, and then like steeplechase be the first chance to really try that. We did get an actual steeple now that we practice on, so that's good. But we don't have the water pit, so that'll be a first chance to try that. Few of the throwing events that are not indoor now are outdoor, and then the hurdles now. There's the longer 100-meter hurdles and the 400-meter hurdles. So just a good chance to kind of get into our events for outdoors and see where we're at.
And then I know we talked about this before, making that jump, a lot of other factors come into play, temperature and wind and all stuff like that. So do you have a conversation with your team, hey, here's the forecast, this is what we're looking at?
Yeah, for sure. And it's different, for different events, like some of the distance events, you can use the group or each other to block the wind a little bit. And just, you just prepare a little bit different. It's just, I guess the weather just depends. If it's windy, if it's really windy, they go with the wind on some of the sprints. But of course, the ones that go around the track, you're gonna get the wind. But we talk to them ahead of time, kind of prepare them for what it's gonna be like. And but we just go and compete as hard as we can, and no matter what the weather. And we're tough because we do live up here and have different weather. And my distance group is outside quite a bit, so for them it'll actually be pretty nice weather.
Does it kind of give you an advantage? Because up here, running outside and it's cold all the time, so then you go down and you have more ideal conditions to be out there. Does that kind of give your distance runners a little bit of an advantage because they kind of train in the harsher conditions, and then when they compete, it's the easier conditions?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're not phased by any kind of conditions really because they've seen it all up here, and yeah, it's tougher up here. So yeah, they definitely do well in the outdoor season for sure.